Okay, I will be giving out the answers for the solutions for the Chapter 5 formative quiz that I've sent out on Friday. So for your homework today, or it's not homework, but what I want you to do is I want you to check your answers. You should give yourself a tick or a cross on whether you got the answer correct. If you haven't done the Chapter 5 formative quiz yet, please do that first. Okay, this is formative, so there's no point lying to yourself saying that, oh, I got it right after I look at the answer. No, do it first, do all the questions first, and then you check the solutions in this video. Okay, so question 1, it says test for divisibility. Okay, so question 1, it says test 116 for divisibility by 2, 3, 5, 6, 9, and 10. Okay, so it's an even number, so it's divisible by 2. 3, it is, you add the numbers, 1 plus 1 plus 2 is 8, so that's not divisible by 3, so no. 5, it doesn't end in 5. 6, it's not divisible by 3, so it's not divisible by 6. If it's not divisible by 3, it's also not divisible by 9. And 116, it doesn't end in 0, so it's not divisible by 10. Okay, so that was very simple. Question 2. It says, is the number 83 prime or composite? Explain your reasoning. 83 is a prime number because the only factors of 83 is 1 and 83. There are no other factors in 83. Okay. Question 3. Write the prime factorization of the number. Okay, question 3 is 28. So 28, I'm going to use the tree factorization method for this one. This is going to be 2 times 14, 2 times 7. So 28 is equal to 2 times 2 times 7. And when we just write the prime factorization, we add the squares in. So it's going to be 2 squared times 7. So that's question 3. Question 4, 96 is going to be 2 times 48. 2 times 48. Okay, so that's 96. My computer is running out of power. Just wait a moment. I need to put the power socket in. Okay. And then 48 is 2 times 24, which is 2 times 12, which is 2 times 6, which is 2 times 3. And if we count the number of 2's, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 2's. So I'm going to write 96 is equal to 2 to the power 5 times 3. Okay, so that's question 4. Question 5, 125 is 5 times 25, and 25 is 5 times 5. And so 125 is equal to 5 cubed. And then question 6, 340 is an even number, so I can divide it by, what I can do for this one, since it's a very big number, I can divide it by 10 first. I'm going to divide it by 10 first to make life a little bit easier, and then it's 34, and then 34 divided by 2 is going to be 7, 2, and 17. And 17 is a prime number, so that's it. So this 340 is equal to, and 10 can be the 2 times 5. Okay, so don't forget to split up the 10 as well. And so we have 340 is 2 times 2 times 5 times 17. And so that is equal to 2 squared times 5 times 17. Okay, so that's question 6. Question 7, find the GCF of the numbers. Question 7, GCF of 8 and 52. Now I'm going to use the tree factorization for the first 2 questions, and then I'm going to use the ladder method for the other 2. So for 8 is 2 times 4, 4 is 2 times 2, so 8 is equal to 2 times 2 times 2. And then 52 is 2 times 26, 26 is 2 times 13, so 52 is equal to 2 times 2 times 13, and so there are repeating numbers of 2, 2, 2, and 2, and so the greatest common factor, GCF, is equal to 2 times 2, which is 4. So that's greatest common factor. Only the common factors you can multiply together. Question 8 is going to be 5 and 16. And unfortunately, there are no common factors between 5 and 16 other than 1. So the GCF is equal to 1. Okay, so if there are no common factors, other common factors, then the GCF will be 1. Question 9. 7 and 56. Okay, 56 can be divided by 7. Is that right? Yes. And so if we do the ladder method, 7, then it's 1 and 8. No more other common factors, so I just write the GCF is equal to 7. Question 10. We have 16, 48, and 88. I can divide them, all of them, by 2. That becomes 8, 24, and 44. I can further divide them by 2. That becomes 4, 12, 22. I can divide it by 2 again. That becomes 2, 6, 11. And then that is it. No more other common factors. I multiply all these 3 together. Then GCF is equal to 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. So that's question 10. Question 11. Write 2 fractions that are equivalent to 5 over 6. Well, this one is easy. It just says 2 equivalent fractions. So any equivalent fraction will be fine. So I can just times 2 to the top and bottom to get 10 over 12. And then I can also times 3 to the top and bottom. And then that will be 15 over 18. So they're both fine. Or any other fraction that is appropriate. Okay, so that's question 11. Question 12. Write the fraction in simplest form. So 4 over 20, question 12, yeah, 4 over 20, I can simplify, that's 2 over 10, that's 1 over 5, so 2 over 12, question 12 is 1 over 5. Question 13, we have 22 over 34. I can divide top and bottom by 2, that's 11 over 17. They're both prime numbers, so no more simplifying, that's done. Question 14, we have 15 over 60. Both top and bottom can be divided by 5. I'm going to do that first. So that's going to be 3 over 12. And then I can further divide by 3. So that becomes 1 over 4. Okay, so that's 1 over 4. And then question 15, we have 14 over 42. I can divide top and bottom by 2. That becomes 7 over 21. And then I can divide top and bottom by 7 again. That becomes 1 over 3. So we have 1 over 3 as the simplest form. That's question 15. And then moving on to question 16. Find the LCM of the numbers 6 and 15. Okay, so for this one, for the first 2 numbers, actually for question 16 and 18, yeah, I will do the tree factorization method first. So 6 and 15. 6 is 2 times 3, so 6 equal to 2 times 3. 15 is 3 times 5, so 15 equals to 3 times 5. And so circle the common factors. That's 3 and 3, so I'm going to write it once. So the LCM is equal to 3 once, and then times 2 times 5 times the other ones that are not repeating. And so that will be 3 times 2 is 6, 6 times 5 is 30. So the LCM is 30. Question 17. Find the LCM of 10 and 14. 10 is equal to 2 times 5. 14 is equal to 2 times 7. 2 is a common factor. And so the LCM is equal to, I'm going to write 2 once, and then the remaining ones, 5 and 7. And so 2 times 5 is 10. 10 times 7 is 70. LCM is 70. That's question 17. Question 18. 5 and 18. 5 is just 5 on its own. 18 is the same as 2 times 9, and 9 is 3 times 3. And so since there are no common factors, what you have to do is you have to multiply them all together. So the LCM is equal to 5 times 2 times 3 times 3, or you can do 5 times 18 directly. 5 times 2 is 10, 10 times 3 is 30, 30 times 3 is 90. Is that correct? 18 times 5 is 90. Yes, that's correct. So that's equal to 90. Then lastly, question 19. There are three numbers, 4, 10, and 15. So 4 is equal to 2 times 2, and then 10 is equal to 2 times 5, and then 15 is equal to 3 times 5. So what you do first is you circle numbers that are common to all three. There are no common to all three, so I'm going to pick one color now, and I'm circling two numbers that are common to two, at least two. And then I'm going to pick, and then I'm going to circle this, which is common to two. And lastly, the ones that are remaining are on their own. And so we write this, so the LCM is equal to 2 ones times 5 ones, and then times the remaining ones, 2 times 3. And so the LCM is 2 times 5 is 10, 10 times 2 is 20, 20 times 3 is 60. Okay, so that's how you do the LCM of three numbers. You circle common factors between any two numbers. Okay, first you do the ones that are common between all three, and then after that you do between all two, and then lastly the individual numbers. So that's question 19. Question 20. Order the numbers 17 over 5. We have 3 and 3 over 10, and then we have 15 over 4, and then we have 3.5. From least to greatest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change all these numbers into improper fraction with the same denominator. And I'm looking at these denominators. 4 and 10, I want to get the 4, 5, and 10, I want to get them to the lowest common multiple, which will be 20. Okay, so I'm going to change this number, 17 over 5, to be something over 20. So that's going to be 5 times 4, and then 17 times 4 will be 68. You need to work that out on your own. So that's 68 over 20. And then for the next number, this is going to be 3 times 10 plus 3 all over 10. And so that is equal to 33 over 10. And then I need to multiply by 2 to get it over 20. And same times 2, that becomes 66. Okay? And then third one, 15 over 4, something over 20. I need to multiply that by 5, and so 15 times 5 will be 75 over 20. And then lastly, the last one, the top is going to be 3 times 2 plus 1 all over 2. That's the changing the mixed number into improper fraction. That's going to be equal to 6 plus 1, 7 over 2. And then I want to change that to 20. And so that will be times 10, and that will also be times 10. So that's 70 over 20. And then lastly, we compare these numerators to see which one is the least. The smallest one is 66 out of 20. So I'm going to write in the original form 3 and 3 over 10. That's the smallest one. And then next is 68 out of 20. So that's 17 over 5. And then the next one is 70 over 20, which is 3.5. And then lastly, the biggest one is 15 over 4. Okay, so that's question 20. Now, if you ever need to pause this video at any time, feel free to do that. This is, you can pause at any time you want. You can catch up if you find me going too fast. Okay, so that's the great thing about having the lessons online on YouTube, is that you can pause at any time, you can catch up at any time that you want. Okay, question 21. And if you feel that I'm too slow, if the lesson is too long, you can even put the speed at 1.5 speed to make me talk even faster, as if I'm not talking fast enough already. Question 21, rewrite the number as specified. So 22 over 3 as a mixed number. So 22 over 3 is the same as 22 divided by 3. 3 goes into 21 7 times to be 21, remainder 1. And so how do we write this as a mixed number? It's going to be 7 whole parts, so that's equal to 7. And then remainder 1, so 1 at the top and 3 at the bottom. 7 and 1/3. That's question 21. question 22, 4.3 as an improper fraction. So 4.3 is the same as, I'm going to multiply by 10 and divide it by 10. So it's multiply by 10 divided by 10. So that's 43 over 10. Okay, now I know I talked about decimal to fraction, to improper fraction, to just normal fraction. So if you're looking at this as 4 plus 0.3, 0.3 is equal to, 0.3 is the same as 3 over 10. And so we add 4 to that, and so that's 4t over 10. So that's 4t over 10 plus 3 over 10, which is 43 over 10. So this is just in case you don't know how to do a bigger decimal number into a improper fraction. So that's 43 over 10. And then we have to, we cannot simplify it anymore. Okay. Question 23. We want to do 3 and 5/9 as a decimal. So 3 and 5/9, so it's 3 plus 5 over 9. And I'm going to convert 5 over 9 into a decimal. And so 5 over 9 is equal to 5 divided by 9. 9 goes into 5 0 times, put a dot, and then 9 goes into 50 5 times to be 45, and then that's going to be 5 remaining, and then add a 0. 9 goes into 50 5 times to be 45, and then we can see that it is going to be a repeating decimal, 0.55, and it goes on forever, which means that this whole number over here is going to be 3 plus 0.5 repeating, and so that is equal to 3.5 repeating decimal of 5. Okay, so that's question 23. Now 24, 5, 6, and 7 are your word questions. Let's do 24. You are buying breakfast bagels. You buy 3 blueberry, 6 plain, 5 cinnamon, and 1 honey grain. Find the fraction of the bagels that are cinnamon raisins. Okay, so we have 5 cinnamon, and then over, how many total bagels are there? There's going to be 3 blueberries, and then there's 6 plain, there's 5 cinnamon, and 1 honey. So that's 5 total. That's the fraction of cinnamon to the amount of bagels. And so that is equal to 5 over 3 plus 6 is 9, 9 plus 5 is 14, 14 plus 1 is 15, so 5 over 15. And then simplify your answers, divide top and bottom by 5, so that is equal to 1 over 3. Okay, that's question 24. Question 25. You want to tile an area of wall of 114 inches tall by 144 inches wide. Now, it would always help for us to draw a diagram. Okay, so I have a wall that is 114 inches tall, and it is 144 inches wide. And we wanted to decorate it with square tiles, not rectangular tiles, square tiles. And then we want to choose the biggest square tile to the nearest whole number, and to find out what largest square tile we would need to fit in this wall so that there are no other spaces. So this is a question about LCM, greatest common factor. Okay, so we need to find the greatest common factor of 114 and 144. So let's do that. 114, 144. I'm going to factorize it. That's 2 times 57, and then is that it? 2 times 57? Yeah, and I think 57 is 57 a prime number? 57 is no, it shouldn't be a prime number. 57 divided by 3 is 19. So there's also 3 and 19. Okay, so 19 is a prime number, so it's 2 times 3 times 19. That's 114. 114 equal to 2 times 3 times 19. And then 144, 2 times 144 divided by 2 is 72. And then 72 is 2 times 36. And then 36 is 2 times 18. 18 is 2 times 9. 9 is 3 times 3. So 144, I'm going to write it over here, is equal to 2222. So 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 3. But we're only interested in the ones that are common. So there's 2 ones and there's 3 ones. So that's the GCF. We don't need to worry about 19 and we don't need to worry about the other 2's and 3's. And so the GCF is equal to 2 times 3, which is 6. Which means that the largest square tile, don't forget we have to answer the question, okay? It says find the largest square tile to use. The largest square tile is 6 square inches. Okay, and it says how many of these tiles do we need? And so in order to find out how many of these tiles do we need, we actually have to find out the area of the wall. 114 times 144. The area of this is quite big. How do we do this? How do we find out how to okay, so 6 goes into 144 how many times? 144 divided by 6 goes into it 24 times over here. And then 6 goes into 114 how many times? It goes into 114 goes into 6 goes into 114 19 times. And so we have 19 square tiles up and 24 square tiles across, which means that the total number will be 19 times 24 square tiles, which will give you an answer of 19 times 24 is 456 square tiles in total. Okay, so each square tile is 6 inches by 6 inches or 6 square inches, and we are using 456 square tiles. So that's how you do it. I know this is probably going to be the hardest question. But if you do it slowly, if you try and figure out what you actually need, this is how to do it. Okay, so the answer is 6 square inches and 456 square tiles. That's question 25. 26. A farmer plants a variety of crops on his land. The farmer plants half of the land with 1/12 of the land with corn, 1/4 with soybeans, 3/8 with wheat, 3/16 with potatoes, and then it says which crop takes up the most land and the least land. So this one's quite easy. All we have to do is change all of these fractions into the same denominator. And so we need to figure out what is the least common multiple of these, and I would say it would probably be 36. Okay, so 12 goes into 36, 4 goes into 36, 8 does not go into 36, unfortunately. So we have to go all the way up to 72, double of 36. Okay, so we have to find the LCM of 16, 12, and 8. Okay, so LCM, let me just quickly do that. LCM of 16, 12, and 8. Let me just quickly do that. 16, 12, and 8. Let's just to be sure. So that's going to be 2, 8, 6, 4. Another 2. That's going to be 4, 3, and 2. And then I can further divide this by 2 into only 2 and 1 over here. And then we just multiply all these together to find the LCM. So that's 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Oh, it should be just 16. Is that right? Did I miss something? Oh, no. And I'm missing the 3. Yeah, times 3. I almost forgot about the 3. So, okay, it should be 48. Okay, so the LCM is equal to 48. Yep, I forgot about the 3. And so that's 48, which means that 16 goes into 48 3 times, 12 goes into 48 4 times, 4 goes into 48 12 times, 8 goes into 48 6 times. Okay, so now let's rewrite our fractions in terms with the denominator as 48. So 1 over 12 is equal to something over 48, so that's going to be times 4, so that's 4 over 48. Okay, so that's 1 over 12, that's going to be is corn over here. And then next we have soybean. soybean is going to be 3/8, which is going to be something over 48. That's going to be times 6. So 3 times 6 is going to be 18 over 48. Okay. And then next is going to be 3/8 with wheat. Oh, 3/8 is wheat. Let me just change that. You need to read the question carefully, okay? Or else it's very easy to make mistakes. Oh, soybeans is 1/4. So soybean is just 1/4. And so over 48 is going to be times 12. And so that's going to be times 12 to the top. That's 12 over 48. And then lastly, we have 3/16 potatoes. Potatoes is 3/16, and so that will be something over 48 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. And so which crop takes up the most land? The most land is going to be wheat over here, 18 over 48. So this is most. And then the one with the least land is 4 over 48, which is corn. Okay, so that's question 26. And then last question, 27. About 3/100ths of Earth water is fresh water. Write this number as a decimal and a fraction. This is pretty easy. So 3/100ths. What does that mean? 3/100ths. Wait, about 3/100ths of Earth's water. So 3 out of 100. Okay, that's what it means, I guess. Hopefully, that's 3 out of 100 is fresh water. Write this number as a decimal and as a fraction. So fraction, that's 3 over 100, and then as a decimal, that's going to be 0.03. Okay, that's question 27. So check your answers carefully, and that's it for today's lesson. I will put all of these answers into your class notebook as well, and so you can check your answers there too.